Solana has dropped 60% in the past 2 weeks since the historic crash of the FTX exchange to the current price of less than $15 as of press time. The whole Solana ecosystem has seen experienced global difficulties, continuously dumping strongly at the double-digit fluctuations. Bitcoin and nearly all major altcoins are also in the red as the market turned increasingly negative as the confidence crisis heightened. A layer 1 blockchain once held as a revolution of the blockchain world is now suffering when indirectly involved in the crisis. So, is this a good position to buy? Will Solana bounce again or will it crash with FTX? What should you do? Let's figure it out with us today, and I'm the Chris of Crypto News. First of all, we gotta talk about what's happening to Solana. Recently, the Solana token has been in a free fall with a drop more than 60% in the 2 weeks. And the reason comes from the fact that the Solana is one of the biggest investments that FTX and Alameda Research are holding in their portfolio. And I will summarize some of the notable milestones in the past 2 weeks where Solana was under great pressure from the crisis and the communities. The first is that after the collapse of FTX, many people believe that Solana's fate was also sealed by the close association of former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried with the proof-of-stake blockchain. Over the past 2 years, ETH's heavyweight competitors, Solana, has rapidly risen to become one of the biggest blockchains thanks to SBF, who is both major investor and voice of the ecosystem. Secondly, early this week, it was reported that Alameda and FTX own 58 million Solana tokens, representing nearly 11% of the total Solana supply. This holding has placed Sam Bankman-Fried at the heart of much of Solana-based decentralized finance, infiltrating our market investor. The third one is Solana's panic only seems to get worse, with the Binance temporarily holding all the USDC and USDT deposit on Solana blockchain on 7th of November. Previously, OKX announced it would delist both USDT and USDC on Solana and hold deposit with the withdrawal operations. That said, after FTX filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, regulators may be able to expand their reach to the token with close tie to the exchange, causing Solana to continue to plunge. Thereby, we can see that Solana is going through the most terrible period since it was founded until now. However, despite the drop in the price of Solana, the core value of the technology behind the platform is still considered extremely valuable compared to the other platforms. Therefore, the developers have tried to revive the interest and trust of the user communities. On November 16, the Solana Foundation said that it will not sell or transfer the approximately 12.5 million Solana that it intends to postpone the unlocking of the token over the next 2 years, instead saying they will be settled and bet again on the new note. In theory, this action could convince investors that Solana would not be dumped, acting as a liquidity shield against bucket sellers. On November 17, Coinbase Cloud, one of the largest hosts for Solana validators, tweeted that the network has been upgraded to the address that issue that led to the previous outage. According to the service, the network has been running under significant load for the past 2 weeks, which is a testament to the effectiveness of those upgrades. A recent tweet also showed that Solana builders had grown to over 3,700. One of the biggest successes of 2020 is the Solana NFT communities, which has achieved over $3.6 billion in primary and secondary sales to date. So, other times I make this video, Solana is still in a long downtrend, as you can see here. And here I will use the Fibonacci retracement pattern and identify some basic support area. The first one is 25.80, the second one is 19.12, and the last one is 11.38. And as you can see, since the beginning of the month, Solana price has dumped a column through the first support area and even penetrate the 0.5 with Fibonacci. The reason I think definitely from the crisis of FTX. Okay, as you can see between the 0.5 and 0.618 area, the price is reacting quite strongly due to the influence of both buyer and seller. The buyer have come from some buying support in the past 2 days. However, the market is still in fear. The cutting losses of holders also put pressure from seller on the price of Solana. Usually, When breaking through the 0.5 Fibonacci level, the price will dump strongly to the area of 0.618. However, in this range, you can see there's a more support zone number 2 here, and the price reacted with a slightly increase. However, it's also necessary to consider the price reaction in the short term. So there are two scenarios I can bring you here. The first one, the price of Solana will be pulled to the 0.618 of Fibonacci line and pumped again. And the second scenario, the price of Solana can be go over the 0.5 Fibonacci line, and then you can soon observe the price reaction at this level. So you can combine with RSI indicator as well as the MACD line to consider the entry range. On Solana's homepage, there's also the quick snapshot of the current state of the network. So we saw that average second transaction has averaged over 2000 DPS since November 8 and got a drop of 11 November because the FTX crisis. But right now it's just recovering, so it's a good, and maybe nothing negative happened. And the next thing is the average per block times. Block time measure how quickly the network add more blocks to the blockchains, giving us another perspective of the network's throughput. The average time to produce a block increased to 0.61 ms since November 8, but remained below the historical average. So this is not a big deal for Solana. And the last thing in the snapshot we should pay attention to is daily program use. Solana rate usage on the network is down modestly, but that is to be expected in the extreme times. Daily program use is down 5%, but is in line with recent months. In my point of view, this situation in Solana still look fine. But the question right now is, should we trust them? And should we buy Solana? Here's our opinion. In the short term, FTX court hearing could sustain Solana's uptrend. The start of the FTX bankruptcy hearing could suggest that Solana will sustain the current uptrend. As you know, the FTX exchange filed for bankruptcy on November 11, and with the case officially starting, investor fear could be eased as a clear way forward is revealed. In the next few days, you can expect Solana to continue grow as it's still in the recovery phase after the crisis. But it's still necessary to observe the reaction in the price area that we have analyzed about to be able to make the most accurate decision. In the short term, there's one very important thing you must note as well. That is, one of the big whales we have been talking about a lot is FTX and Alameda Research, holding more than $9 million of Solana. And sooner or later, this number of Solana will be liquidated to return money to user. This liquidation could cause another massive dump for Solana after that tremendous selling pressure. Also, don't forget that we are in the middle of an extended bear market reason, with the Bitcoin predicted to drop below $10,000. As we can see, there's a little positive news to expect a big rally. Therefore, in this period with the short-term trader, I think we should be cautious in buying spot, because we will never know when the Solana retracement will start, and how Solana price reaction when it reaches the support zone, and importantly, when FTX and Alameda will sell the Solana to repay the debt. And what about the long term? Although Solana is still on the downtrend, the Solana's communities also seem to be moving on from the aftermath of the FTX collapse. The Solana founders, Anatoly Yakovenko, announced a major blockchain update to fix Solana outages. If Solana can prove itself as a reliable blockchain, it could line up to being an Ethereum killer, which could be billions of Solana in the long term. I think that Solana can recover from the impact of the crash of FTX, and Alameda Research has confirmed that this is a stable project, not overrated, and the community trust in Solana is very strong. And Solana just had a lot of sell pressure and fear. Therefore, I recommended that if you are a long-term investment position, Solana is still the good deal, but you should lower your expectation and not be biased by the price of it in the past. Although this is still a project worth long-term investment, because of the feature it brings. In the market today, there's many potential new layer 2 with iron stats that Solana, such as zkSync 2.0, Aptos, or Suis, is supposed to become a Solana killer if Solana doesn't upgrade existing features. The problem is now how to attract developers and projects in the upcoming periods. Therefore, I think Solana will grow in the long term, but will not be as dramatic as the previous increase of this layer 2. You should follow the situation of FTX and the decision of the court on this exchange to determine whether FTX will ever sell Solana to repay the debt and consider buying the price range after being affected. So that's all we think about the current situation of Solana. And that's all the content I want to bring you guys today. If you like this video, press the like, share and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to get the most latest and hottest news in crypto market every day. And I'm Chris. Peace.